Ladies and gentlemen, it is an absolute privilege for me to join you here at the 2026 Northern Cape Investment Conference. Let me at the beginning state it very clearly that Infrastructure South Africa is here as a partner to unlock investment, is here as a partner to strengthen project preparation, is here as a partner to improve project delivery. Of course, the Northern Cape is an investment destination of choice because it sits at the intersection of the global energy transition, strategic mineral and resource value chains, as well as expanding logistics and export corridors. We are already seeing this translates into real projects, large-scale investments in solar PV generation, battery energy storage, as well as associated industrial development. What is required, I think, from where we're sitting is partnerships at scale. Infrastructure South Africa stands here ready to partner with the province to do just three things. We want to be able to prepare a bankable pipeline of mega infrastructure projects or high-value, high-impact infrastructure investment initiatives. We are here to de-risk investments, especially in relation to the work we do around regulatory unblockings. There's a lot of red tape for even renewable energy projects that are being implemented here in the province. To get those projects to reach commercial close, to reach financial close, they need a number of permits, of licenses, of authorizations, of permissions, and so on, from regulatory, from regulators, economic regulators, municipalities, etc. Some even from like South African Defense, National Defense Force, and so on and so forth. We do a lot of work in the background to get these approvals to be expedited as soon as possible, or to be to make sure that we have a streamlined regulatory regime that is in place to support the implementation of these projects. And lastly, we do support project sponsors, project owners to accelerate infrastructure delivery. Our mandate is to close the infrastructure investment gap. We know that at the macro level, at the national level, that infrastructure investment gap sits at 1.6 trillion rand by 2030. And if we don't do anything about that, it jumps to almost 4 trillion rand by 2040, according to the statistics coming out of National Treasury. And so our work is to ensure that we are deploying our project preparation facility to support mega infrastructure investment initiatives of the province, ensuring that we build the right projects in the right areas. But what is it that informs where these projects must be, which projects is Infrastructure South Africa supporting, etc. Through our Center of Excellence, we undertake in-house economic and infrastructure analytics to ensure that planning for these infrastructure projects is data-driven, it is targeted, it is also focused on high-value, high-impact infrastructure investment. So we take out the emotion out of deciding what of these infrastructure projects we need to be able to deliver to close that infrastructure investment gap that I just spoke to. So we've built economic models that help us to arrive at that decision. So typically a municipality or a province, HOD Tamil would know when we're engaging with him and his team and the DG in the province, we always say that you can't have a long wish list. We've got to be able to decide which of these projects have got the highest socio-economic impact, which of these projects have got the highest GDP impact, which of these projects is going to contribute the largest to job creation, to localization, etc. And so our input-output models, they help us to do exactly that. Again, to make sure that we remove emotion out of the decisions around which of these projects we need to advance, we need to prepare and package, we need to mobilize private capital for unlock additional fiscal allocations from National Treasury and help with the implementation of those projects. So some of the models that we've done quite recently, and it's a pity I'm not able to show that on the screen, is that we've now tracked gross fixed capital formation in the entire province. So we've looked at disaggregated data in terms of the different regions in the province, the different municipalities within the province, to see the dynamics in relation to how those specific sectors of the economy here are actually responding to these global shifts, and which of these sectors are responding to macroeconomic as well as microeconomic conditions in the country. So some of the highlights or the insights that we're now drawing out of that work include the following. Similar to the national trend line in terms of gross fixed capital formation, Northern Cape's trends is aligning with that of national actually. So in the past decade, despite all the investments that we are speaking about here in the province, in real terms, gross fixed capital formation has decreased by at least 1% over the last decade. And so what that tells us is exactly what the previous speaker was speaking to, that our investments in the province have not kept pace with the province's potential, and that without intervention, actually, we risk continued stagnation. When we look at the different trend lines insofar as infrastructure investment is concerned, we know that some districts have remained relatively stable but flat, and that includes your Francis Bar district municipality, for example. John Taule Haitsewe district municipality has had the highest gross fixed capital formation in the province up until 2015. But the Kaima local municipality has outperformed all the regions in the province. And it's bolstered by the manufacturing sector having shown the largest growth in the province. So that's the municipality to watch going forward, and it needs to be supported again by your transport logistics infrastructure to ensure that we're able to get those manufactured products out of the municipality or the region out to export markets. We also know that there is a credible and growing pipeline of infrastructure opportunities in the Northern Cape. Of course, this is reflected by the portfolio of projects called strategic integrated projects. So these are projects that by law, so the principal act is the Infrastructure Development Act of 2014. There are certain projects that by law are designated by the President and the Presidential Infrastructure Coordinating Commission as strategic integrated projects. So these are mega infrastructure projects. We monitor the implementation of these projects on an ongoing basis. Again, we apply our red tape reduction methodology to make sure that these projects receive as quickly as possible the different permits and licenses so that they can be implemented swiftly. So the total value of those strategic integrated projects in the province is 506 billion rand. And these projects, of course, are at different stages of development. In fact, MILO projects are sitting with Infrastructure South Africa, and we've done a lot of work to support that projects in terms of permits and licensing on our side. So of the 37 strategic integrated projects, 30 are in the energy sector, a reflection of the catalytic energy generation and grid-linked portfolio of projects in the province. We want to be able to diversify this portfolio of projects. We want to be able to bring in projects that support export corridors. We want to be able to bring in investment insofar as the transport logistics and sector is concerned, issues related to water and sanitation and so on. We want to be able to build this portfolio over a period of time. So from an Infrastructure South Africa perspective, our role is to make sure that we have well-prepared, well-structured, and investment-ready projects. Every single time we speak to domestic and international financing institutions, they always say that there is money, but where are the projects? So we need to be able to marry the funding that is in place with the right projects that are well prepared, well packaged, and these projects are investment ready. So in the Northern Cape, working very closely and guided by the Office of the Director General, the CEO of NCEDA and his team, we are supporting 5 strategic projects. The Namakwa Special Economic Zone is a very important project that we are finalizing its preparation and packaging. We've been at it working on this the past 13 months or so. We believe that we'll be getting this project and submitting this project to National Treasury's budget facility for infrastructure so that we can unlock funding for this project, especially in relation to bulk infrastructure support. The Zanzabani Municipality mixed use project is with us. The Katu Industrial Park, we are finalizing that project preparation work. The schools infrastructure program, MEC, I think you just stepped out. We're supporting that project as well. And of course, the much more long-term investment in the province being Bokupai, port and rail development. Currently that work is underway, working with Transnet to support the preparation work. So out of the 200 million rand that we received in the previous financial year for project preparation, 37 million rand of that has been directed towards supporting the projects in this province. So our work focuses on strengthening project pipeline, improving the quality of business cases. So unless you prepare a quality business case, you cannot even speak about unlocking funding or financing for a specific project. It's as simple as that. We have to be able to define the funding pathway for every single project. The financial model must be in place, the commercial model must be in place, cost-benefit analysis must be in place, the geotechnical reports, the pre-engineering designs, all of that needs to be in place for any funding institutions, including National Treasury, to interact with that particular project. So our work is upstream of the value chain to ensure that we get those projects to be bankable. Because where we sit, we understand that the fundamental principle is this, that you can only mobilize private capital and unlock additional fiscal allocations for projects that are well prepared and packaged. It is as simple as that. So this is the value that Infrastructure South Africa brings to investors as well as project sponsors alike. So let me close by saying that when the state leads with coordination, with credibility, the market will respond with confidence. And we must just be consistent in doing exactly that. Identification of the right projects in the right areas, ensuring that we're preparing and packaging these projects to bringing them to bankability stage, and we can invite the market to participate in the financing as well as the delivery of those projects. So when there's stronger institutional alignment within the public sector, we collaborate better with the private sector. That's why we work very, very closely with the Northern Cape provincial government, because ultimately they're the people that is the institution that's responsible to ensuring that everything else comes together. We know that the Northern Cape has got the assets, it has the opportunity, and it has got a growing pipeline of projects. What will determine the success of these projects is the quality of the preparation of these projects, our ability to mobilize capital, to fund them, and our ability to execute at scale. As government, we are moving with great speed. We act with greater coordination amongst ourselves, and we are focused relentlessly on delivery. Infrastructure South Africa stands ready to support this effort as a partner to the Northern Cape provincial government and as a bridge to investment. Together, we have the opportunity to strengthen our partnerships, foster investment, and drive meaningful development for the benefit of the Northern Cape and its people. Thank you very much.